What's up, YouTube? Dave here. Something a little different tonight. No beer reviews, no gear reviews. Tonight we're going to go in the kitchen and cook. About a year ago, decided I needed to lose a little weight, so I embarked on an eating journey of trying to eliminate carbs as much as possible, sugar, increase healthy fats. I'm not going to say the dirty word. Rhymes with Beto. Some people freak out with keto. So you call it keto. I don't know that I'm a strict keto guy. No sugar, no grains. No, it's worked for me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. No training in any kind of health food or anything like that. So before you try anything like that, you might want to consult your doctor like I did. I've had great success avoiding those things. Works for me. Actually, January 2018, I've been tracking my weight since then. And again, summertime last year is when I started switching over to a more low carb. You know, I mean, it was rebranded. People call it the Atkins from years ago. Little tweaks to it, South Beach. But ultimately, I just try to avoid sugar. I don't track heavily, and I'm not here to debate the merits or the bad parts of that kind of diet or lifestyle. So, that being said, let's go in the kitchen. Tonight we're going to make a fathead dough. Fathead dough, not only is it acceptable if you're on one of those eating plans, it's also gluten-free. So if you have a gluten allergy, maybe something for you. It's made up of 4 basic ingredients: shredded mozzarella cheese, cream cheese, almond flour, and a large egg. We're going to combine those things. If you're doing this kind of diet, that should be something in your arsenal. Because that fathead dough, that basic recipe, you can make a few different things with. When I'm craving pizza, I make pizza out of it. I've made biscuits, empanadas, bagels. There's a lot of other information out there. You could tweak it and make other things with it. But the basic tonight is fathead dough with those 4 ingredients. So we're going to go into the kitchen and we're going to get to it. I'll see you there. Peace. Alright, so we are in the kitchen. We are going to make a batch of fathead dough. Couple ingredients: 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese, 2 ounces of cream cheese, 3/4 cup of almond flour, and 1 egg. We're going to combine this up and it's going to form a dough. First thing we're going to do is we're going to buzz this in the microwave for about 30 seconds at 30-second intervals. It'll probably take a minute. What we're looking to do is get all of the cheese melted. It doesn't need to be bubbling hot, but it does need to be where all the shreds are completely gone. I'll show you what it looks like. Then we're going to add our flour. I add the flour next because the mixture can tend to be warm and we don't want to cook our egg on top of it. And then we're just going to mix it with a spatula, and we're going to eventually form that ball of dough. Sometimes you have to put it back in the microwave 10 seconds at a time to loosen everything up. This is the most frustrating part about this when you're first making your fathead dough. When you're making fathead dough, I should say, for the first time, it sometimes doesn't look like it's coming together, but trust me, work at it. You will get it to work. Remember, the fathead dough is pretty much a base for a lot of the recipes you're going to find if you're living this lifestyle. I'll give credit, this isn't my recipe, although you can find, I'm sure, hundreds of fathead dough recipes online. I, as a reference, always use this one. This is from Keto Connects. They have a great YouTube channel and a blog, and you can see these are the ingredients. And I just use basic ingredients. This is store brand cream cheese, just 2 ounces. Store brand shredded mozzarella, 8-ounce bag. That's a 1.5 cups. I'll use the other half, to top the pizza. I get my almond flour at Costco. It's just the cheapest there in my opinion. This is a 3-pound bag. It's usually 12 bucks. Basic math, $4 a pound. You can pretty much get it most places nowadays. I used to get it at Walmart. Walmart was about $9-10 bucks for 1 pound, and then they were carrying a 2-pound bag for about 11. So far I found that this is the cheapest, and we'll get this going. Again, we're not trying to cook this, we're just trying to melt the cheese down. I'm just going to keep you down here. So you can see it's softened up, starting to melt. Nowhere near done yet. You don't want to see any shred, it's going to look like one pretty white glob when we're done. Let's see here. It's getting there. You're seeing no evidence of the, it's stringy, but you can see what I'm talking about. There's no shreds left. So I'm going to ditch the fork. I'm throwing it in for another 10 seconds, and we'll get at it with the spatula. You see what I'm talking about? So it's now just one ball. Okay, so we want to get our flour in here fairly quickly because that's going to start to cool off. 3/4 of a cup. I always keep the bag of flour nearby because sometimes you can use it if the mixture is a little too wet. You know, this is not precise. Here's my egg. And like I said, you can see it's mixing together, but you're still seeing some dry stuff there. I'm gonna take it off camera here. I'm gonna put it in for another 10 seconds, maybe 15. Alright, so it's a little more wet than I like. I measured out 2 ounces of cream cheese. It might have been a skosh over. So what I'll do is I'm just going to take a little bit of almond flour. Sprinkle in there, just a little at a time. Coming together. I'm going to buzz it in for 10 more seconds. I think we're going to be there. Yep. Alright, so let me get the cookie sheet and I'll show you what we do next. Alright guys, now we're just going to put this on a cookie sheet. My suggestion would be do not put it on the cookie sheet alone. You're going to either have to use a piece of parchment paper, which you can get at pretty much any grocery store, Walmart, where you find tin foil and saran wrap. I suggest using these baking mats. Parchment paper can be a little pricey. The baking mats you can use, I guess, forever. I'll try to find some and link them in the description. These were my mom's before she passed away, but this is a very sticky dough, so you're gonna need parchment paper pretty much anyways to spread it out. I'll show you what we're gonna do here, but I can't stress enough what a game changer these baking mats are. From cookies, I've made bagels, I've made other kinds of biscuits, empanadas. These are awesome. So now we have our dough. And like I said, you could do it with your hands. You could probably just wet your fingertips. I'm just going to try to center this. And we're making about a 12-inch pizza is what we're going to get. Your standard, pretty much 12-inch pizza. Alright, so now what I do is I'm just going to try to start pushing this out. And I'm going to try to get to the edge here. And we're just going to make it like a circle. You could turn this a little bit. My oven coming up to temp. We preheated our oven to 425. You don't want it too thick. I kind of go on the thinner side. I suppose you can go rectangle shape. And you'll see here where I'm a little low here. So I'll try to like squish it all over. And then just work on the ends here to make a little well, kind of like your end of your crust. Now see, I'm already kind of to the edge, but I still have a few, like an inch or so to go. Yeah, so I'm right to the edge there. I'm to the edge there. I guess you could get a bigger cookie sheet. So this is thin, I could see it's thin in here. So I'm just gonna come over, fill that in. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. If you're on this low carb, low sugar diet and you're jonesing for a pizza, I've tried a bunch of recipes. This is very satisfying. I personally live in the Northeast, epicenter of great pizza in Connecticut. People ask me, it's no New Haven pizza. No, it's not. But if you have that itch for pizza, it does scratch that itch. All right, so I think I'm good. So now you just got to go careful here. And there you go. Here you have your pretty much 12-inch pizza crust. We're going to bake this first with no toppings for about 10 or 12 minutes. Don't want it to get too brown. So let's get her in a 425-degree oven. I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, girls, here we go. 10 minutes in 425-degree oven. It's a little darker than I like it. Normally I don't like to let it get that dark. I didn't really feel like dragging the camera. I don't have a fancy setup here. I just have a point and shoot on a tripod. But the tip in the oven is, watch it. This was literally only in 10 minutes. Because it's gonna start to puff. You wanna just take a point of a knife and just slightly pierce it. You don't wanna go all the way through because you don't wanna cut through the bottom, because when you put your sauce on, it's not gonna ruin anything, but you don't want your sauce going all the way through. And then that'll just deflate that little bubble. You know, if you've ever made pizza in a pizza oven too, you know, sometimes you take a fork and just pop it so you don't get the huge bubble. So that's all. So now we're gonna sauce it, top it, back in the oven. This time, same thing, maybe 10 minutes. You may be able to get away with the broiler on this one. All right, so let's get the toppings and we'll get at it. All right, so there's my toppings. We're gonna put some sauce. I'll explain the sauce in a second. what's left of that bag of mutts. I then like to put a little garlic powder, some grated cheese. My toppings tonight are going to be Italian sausage, chopped up, some mushroom. Yeah, I know it's not fresh mushroom. And I particularly like hot cherry peppers. Let me just quickly go over the sauce. I don't remember the brand name of this, but if you're living that lifestyle, you got to be careful because the sauce has a ton of sugar in it. Vegetables in general have some sugar. So this is a brand I found in a local store here. The reason it's in a baggie is because the can is enough for 5 servings. So I buy a can, that's why I don't have it with me, and I bag it up and freeze it. I think it's like 3 tablespoons. But this one, the other thing when you're kind of trying to live this life or eat this way, looking at the ingredients is key. Because even though it's going to have some sugar and maybe have some carbs in it, you're looking for the best ingredients. And this one just lists like tomatoes, basil, maybe some olive oil, salt, no dextrose, no maltodextrin, no sucralose, which you're trying to avoid when you're low carbing it. So let's get this put together. All right, so and it's, trust me, it's enough. It's enough for this 12-inch pizza. Like I said, I open up that can and I make 5 servings. I bag up 5 bags, or use 1 while I'm making a pizza and bag up 4. I don't ask the macros. I don't know the macros. I don't track any of that stuff. What I honestly do is just avoid sugar and carbs best I can, and try to stick to healthier fat versions of things I'm eating. So if it's a good cut of meat, you know, I'll try to get the fatty version of that. Pork, try to get the fatty version of that. And again, I'm not advocating, I'm not going to debate, it's what works for me. So a little garlic powder. You know what? Put a little oregano. Grated cheese. Now, any of you folks who know good New England pizza, like New Haven style Napolitano pizza, it would be this, a little bit of garlic, no mutts, some olive oil drizzle, boom, done. Now, I have this mutts, like I said, I used 1.5 cups out of this bag for the dough, and this is just store brand. The people I follow, Keto Connect, when I saw him make this, he made a breakfast one with some eggs on it and some breakfast sausage. Not done that yet. I've tried the cauliflower one. Honestly, I'm still trying to come to terms with cauliflower. Just don't like it. So maybe we'll get there someday. Now, I know, it's not traditional, but I'm just going to sparsely put a little cheddar on here. Just canned mushrooms, I know. Now, I won't use this whole can, but tomorrow morning, when I get up on Sunday, is typically the day that I do my meal preps. I make a breakfast scrambled kind of casserole bake. I'll put the rest of this can in there. The sausage doesn't look cooked all the way, but that's okay because it's going in the oven, 425 degrees. I love cherry peppers. I eat them in my breakfast. I love them. Get that big stem out of there. Ah! Alright, I guess we're good, man. And that's it, voila. Pan's alright, still warm. We'll get that back in an oven. We'll come back when it's done. And there it is, guys. 6 minutes in the oven at 425. Then I hit it with the broiler on medium for maybe, I don't know, just a few minutes. Battery's going low, so I'm gonna cut it, put a fresh battery in, and we'll cut it and taste it. All right, so I transferred it over to just a flexible cutting board. It's been sitting, so again, it's a little not as crispy, a little darker than I like. I usually make it a little lighter so you could always heat it up later, but that's okay. I don't know if I'm in focus or not. The light's right behind me. But let's get a taste test. Like I said, is it going to rival your favorite pizza joint? Absolutely not. But if you're craving pizza, it will get the job done. If you like the video, consider subscribing. I'm trying to boost the numbers on this channel. Give it a thumbs up. It's my first video doing like a food thing, and you know, trying to do multiple things here, so I'm trying. Share it if you're into that lifestyle and know somebody else who may benefit from it. Talk to you later.